On the internet, you can find some very unique items. Finding new and interesting keyboards for the new iPad Pros has been a struggle. This one is a Magic Keyboard alternative, which does not rely on Bluetooth or has an internal battery. It doesn't use the smart connector either. It sort of relies on its own version of one with a USB-C adapter. I've seen devices like this one in the past from Doko or Chisona, but this one takes it a step further. It will work with any iPad with Type-C, including my Mini 6. It is the perfect keyboard case for that. Hey, welcome back, it's V, let's go. The M4 iPad Pros and Magic Keyboard is a wonderful setup which complements each other really well. Having a keyboard case with a real physical connector via the smart connector is and always will be better than any Bluetooth setup. Unfortunately, you are paying $1,000 for the tablet and about $350 for the keyboard case. They are both worth it, but if you're looking to save a few dollars, the Magic Keyboard is not required for the complete package. This is where I come in and check out keyboard cases no one has ever heard about. Finding a budget keyboard case can be finding a diamond in a ship pile or something off Amazon. Most are terrible, but there are a few nuggets here or there. I will send this one for a review. These are my thoughts and only my thoughts. Trust me, I was not paid to review this. This can be picked up off Amazon for about $100, listed down below. This is from a company called Ruelk. There's two versions, one for the 11-inch and 13-inch M4s, no version for the older ones or the Airs. It's a similar setup to the Magic Keyboard, but compared to those, this does not rely on Bluetooth, and it has its own smart connector in a sense. It's a smart idea because it takes advantage of the USB-C port. It's also not relying on the smart connector. Having a real connector is 10 times better than Bluetooth, and this company achieved that in their own weird, unique way. Inside the box, you get the instructions, the user guide, the usual paper gear, and pretty much the boring stuff. There is no USB-C cable because it has no internal battery. Everything is powered by the iPad. The keyboard case has some heft behind it. There's really not much in the box, just those couple things. Once opened up, there's this weird small Type-C dongle, which it is the centerpiece for everything. Apple uses the smart connector to give its own keyboards like its own real physical connector and not solely relying on Bluetooth. Don't get me wrong, Bluetooth is fine 90% of the time, but there is some occasional stuttering or hiccups here or there if typing or moving too fast. This uses the Type-C port on its side to give the iPad a smart physical connector, which it is a smart idea. Over the years, there's only like 3 devices which really take advantage of the smart connector. I figured there would be a couple dozen by now. This keyboard case is similar to the older M1s material-wise, which is not a bad thing compared to the metal finish of the M4s. This does attach to the iPad with magnets. It does look and feel like a Magic Keyboard with a couple caveats. It is a bit thicker compared to the original. With any keyboard case, it does offer some protection from drops and falls. Not the best idea, but it does offer some. Plastic Type-C adapter holds everything together, is the most essential for the whole package. If this is lost or broken, then the keyboard case becomes a nice paperweight. I do wish they would have given at least 2 of them in the box. I have not seen anywhere online to find a replacement. You are given one and only one. That's the only downside I see with this product, is that it is the archstone which keeps everything together. Typically with budget keyboard cases, the trackpads are not as good as others. Some features might be cut, such as pinch to zoom, multi-touch, or generally pretty slow and unresponsive. Here I am pleasantly surprised. From pinch to zoom, anywhere in the gallery or different apps, I figured this one was cut. Multi-touch, switching between applications, everything is here. In gallery or Photoshop, pinch to zoom, works like normal, there's no issues whatsoever. It's not fluid or fast as Apple's, but it's also only $100 with a real wired connection. Overall, the trackpad is one of the better ones. It's not great by any means, but for the price point, I can overlook it. I can give this trackpad a solid 3 out of 5. It's decent for budget, but it's not really game changing. I do notice more stuttering from what it's worth, but all the multi-touch gestures are here with this one. This keyboard has a chiclet style layout. It is backlit with 3 levels of brightness. It does have like 20 colors to choose from. A couple I do like. There are dedicated media keys to switch the colors, so no shortcuts are needed. I do find the backlight a little bit dim. It is really hard to capture it with my camera. It's good for a dark room, not the best next to a TV or anything anything with a bright light. The keyboard here is just okay, nothing really amazing. The switches underneath are not super clicky, they are a little bit mushy. The keyboard is just average, there's really nothing game changing about it. It will get the job done, but by the end of the week, I'm looking for something else. I've done quite a few different typing tests, and I get about 55 to 60 words per minute on average. It is one of the better ones when it comes to budget. I do notice that the S key does stick quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's just my keyboard. On the other hand, testing out Apple's keyboard, the difference is night and day. I can easily break 70 words per minute. This is the gold standard when it comes to keyboard cases, but at the same time, $100 versus $350. At the end of the day, Apple makes fantastic keyboards, but they are expensive. At the same time, this budget keyboard will get the job done, easily 3 out of 5. Like the trackpad, it's usable, but not the best. With me being me, I do have to test out everything with my Mini 6. This is my spirit animal afterwards. The Mini 6 is quite a bit thicker compared to the newer ones. There are some compatibility issues here. You sort of gotta wiggle everything in, but it does work. Trying to line everything up is a pain because there's really nothing to support it. Everything eventually does work. The keyboard works like normal, even so does the trackpad. Everything has to be perfectly lined up. This really needs to become a thing with case makers. The Mini 6 does not have a smart connector, but could easily have a physical connector with something like this with Type-C. This seriously needs to become a thing. At the end of the day, the best keyboard is the one you can afford. This will never replace the official Apple one. For potential buyers out there who might consider picking this one up, compromises are always important. The budget one looks and feels like the M1s with like the whole leather material versus cold metal with the M4s. The charging ports are on the opposite sides of each other. The M4s are thinner with more of a premium build to it. The keyboard layout is about the same here, minus the media keys. The budget one is about twice as thick compared to the M4s. With that, the trackpad is a little bit smaller too. Budget versus premium, they're similar but different at the same time. The budget ones aren't bad for the price point, but the M4s are still king of the hill. At the end of the day, can the budget keyboard case dethrone the official Apple one? No, it cannot. The quality of both of them are significantly different. Can they coexist with each other? Absolutely. Different keyboard cases can cater to different price points. If someone is looking for a cheap alternative to save some money right now, $100 versus $350. The build quality is passable. It won't really wow anyone. The keyboard and trackpad are usable. They're not as smooth and fluid. Just remember, if this USB-C adapter is lost, then this keyboard becomes a nice paperweight. I do wish 2 were included in the box just because. Having a real physical connector is a must-have in 2025, just because it's much better than Bluetooth. So like always, it's V, stay classy.